Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one, we are having a look at one of the most deadly item combos in the game. Shield Blood plus Bloodthirster. Let's throw in the Yumu's Ghost Blade and a Graves, and all of a sudden you have the ultimate carry package. Now, in this one, we have had snowballs, we've had comeback 1v9s, we've had assassins controlling every phase of the game. What if you and your homie simply want a 2v8? What if you want to, camp a lane and try and win that way while forsaking the rest of your team because they're just lizards? This is the game for you. Now, Graves, obviously, the epitome of game flow and map control and, one of the best junglers in the game in terms of design just because of the control. He can define entire metas. Slap in a Fleet Footwork Korean rune set, as you'll see on your screen now. You have sustain and you have utility. Also, even though the crab is dead, long live the crab, the fact that he removes a shield with an auto attack, it's not okay. And W is just... W should make you pull weird faces and feel gross. Because the spell is gross. It's horrible to face. It's horrible to be in a counter gank and suddenly you get smoke screened and you're crying. So what he's doing, I have not seen this game. I just looked for some kind of 2v8 gameplay. I thought that's something very useful, not only if you're a duo, but also if you kind of want to just snowball one lane specifically and look to try and feed someone who's a good win condition on your team, along with being the win condition yourself. We're doing a red side clear, obviously. We know this at this point. Hyperactive gameplay is very important. And you know what? It's time we looked at a little bit of a variation in terms of clears. Now, the red side clear here is obviously not my fan favorite, but what I think you can do, especially as a Rex side, red side into a gank. Like, this Syndra is primed. You could be here right now just before she hits level 3. And I think that's absolutely huge for you guys. Gulp of air at the wrong moment as I wanted to speak. Asthma do be a bitch sometimes. Hence the, the big sucks of air every now and then. He's gonna do, I assume here we'll look for full clear. The Kiana, we know she starts topside and goes down. At this point, the Kianas, the assassins, you're seeing them do a lot more of these red Raptors grumps into action, just to try and get out ahead. Here we go. Alright. And therein is the risk of ganking. Now, obviously, you'll support ints in that situation. Now, most of you have been in that situation as a Kiana, but that's the risk you have when you go for those 3 camp clears. Plant gets hit. See this? Eyeballs on the rise. So we know Al Vision is provided here. Syndra moves down to control this crab. For Graves, this is standard control. Now, remember, you are level 4. She will be level 3. That means if you want a 2v2 in the mid lane right now, you have that experience advantage. And that's absolutely huge. Waits for it. Rakan rotates, basically running it down, trying to kill. TB from the Gragas. He's going to try and get the Syndra, but is not actually able to do so. Now, don't worry about the Rakan, because this game remains close throughout, and it's really on the Gragas and the Graves to do things. So this is a standard early clear. Absolutely standard stuff. He wards in the top lane. We see this. So Graves knows that you cannot really gank in this way, but I don't like that ward. I don't like that ward because Graves is going to reset. He's sequencing bottom to top. You can kind of hold it a little bit longer. I mean, it's a good ward, but especially given the lane state, he's going to sequence up, so you have a bit of time. The Graves, on the other hand, this Rakan goes in, and he twice met by TPs. First Gragas, then Rise. The Zaya is quite strong. See, this is a 3v3 that basically, if the Graves doesn't intervene, it could signal a coin flip of the lanes. Now, he goes straight in for it and changes the nature of that 3v3. Now, if you are a jungler and you go hold mid, if you're farming right now and you're not reactively rotating, getting to that situation as soon as possible, what if your team messed it up and the red team gets the 3v3? So always make sure you're present. Good read here, knowing that the counter is going to be very desperate. Invade her, counter jungle her second tier grump, her biggest value camp on the map. Force a flash. Syndra's going on the rise. We have good angles here. Now Syndra has to be very cautious. So does Graves though. No, he doesn't really. But you just have to be cognizant of the fact that the Syndra could be somewhere here and so on, but I don't think it's really much of an issue. So he was going to do his Krugs and then into the bottom lane, but unfortunately they were fisting, so he rotates to gun them down. invades and forces the flash from the Kiana. And the shotgun man moves to the mid lane now and doesn't go back to the Krugs. Okay? He doesn't go back to the Krugs because that is... Now, instead of doing the Krugs, he spent the time getting a kill bottom lane, counter jungling, forcing the flash. We want to go up now. We want to match the fact that the Kiana is going to look to do her Raptors and probably, you know, if she wants to do this, and then this, which would be weird, you can at least be here if she decides to cut in, you know, or in any way. And the fact that there's an RNG crab. Second crab spawn, that's the big experience influx from this crustacean in the river. So make sure you're present for that as well. I hope you saw that. Here we go. Smite it to secure it, 91 gold. Gold is still a thing. She's desperate at this point. Oh, that's a very nice Roman, very nice binding. Good job, Lux. Good job, Lux. Very nice. 102. Groggy Ice. Oh, whoa, what? Okay. Okay. All right. Support Lux God, I suppose. Very nice. How do you basically keep this going, though? Because a lot of the times, this is 6-0. And as I said, the gold lead ends up being equal. And the game, as you'll see by the timing of the gameplay, is around 28 minutes. So normally, people are opening mentally. But just like yesterday's video from Kha'Zix, a good early lead doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to run away with it. Especially if the enemy team X-Plays and the Rise runs it down like a smurf. We're able to get a kill back there for the red team. You could argue that you'd need to go hold this. But the fact of the matter is you also have to hold bottom lane, and these two are low and Rakan isn't yet 6. So at this point, I'm kind of more interested in denying the Xayah free play gold. Okay. So now we can do this and we can do this. And now Kiana's getting a bit of a reprieve here. She's not being punished as much as she could have been given how bad the early game was. Lux, let's be cautious here. How close are we to 6? Not that close. There's Kiana. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta be very cautious by overcommitting. I know she's just delaying the back, forcing a zone. Now they're gonna just try and not let this hit the tower so they can actually just completely relax. And Graves could look to do something about that, but I'm gonna assume it's all warded. And as I said, you're ganking for your homie, which in this case is the big Gragi at the top lane. We haven't really actually impacted it a lot, but it's about understanding that the Gragas is in a good position to help you carry. Nice from the Rise. GP ult comes through. Watch the Graves on the minimap. See GP, good champion, fun design. Should not be. Well played. Well played. Very well played. So Gragas was, Gragas, this is Graves. Graves is kind of looking, do I need to float? Didn't think he had to, so he didn't. And now we have Rakan plus Kiana here, still not level 6. Wait a second. Smoke screen, ult, doesn't matter. Rakan dances, and then runs. That was a lot of nothing. It was a lot of something, and then a lot of nothing. So the Kiana, worth noting, look at this. Look at the difference. If you're a ganker, and you try those early clears, and you try impact, and things don't go well, you're still going to be behind a jungler who's farming and just letting the game come to him. I mean, at this point, he's almost up 30 CS. And he's not focused on the dragon, which is absolutely fine in this case, but he's just going to take the herald. Careful now. We know Kiana was in the area. You have to be aware of it. But look, who's playing well? Who has the lead? Here we go. As I said, she would have hit 6 from the Krugs. Ult misses, that's fine. GP is super low. We have ult from 53, so it's not quite available, but we can definitely destroy this tower. Let's have a look at the gold. 3-7, 2-9, because of shutdowns. 2-5, 3-8, 2-8, 3-5, and 3-5. So mid lane is ahead, ADCs are ahead, and Lux is 300 gold ahead only. So, you know, you saw a 6-0, and a lot of you freaking out going, GG, snowball. Such the wrong attitude to have. It's such a wrong attitude, because where is the gold? It's in the Gragas, it's in the Graves. A little bit in the Lux. Right, we didn't use the Herald top lane. I think that's very interesting, because you kind of want to, but then is the map ready for that elevation of the game state? Is everyone ready to take this tower, to have you and Gragas reset to go bottom lane? No, because then GP can, you know, maybe freeze here, or just completely chill and scale. So let's force him back into this lane. Let's keep the pressure of having the tower up. and we'll get those plates. We got a lot of time. Love this ward from blue team. Syndra moving down again. When you see this, you know she's going to probably look toward here or here. Obviously, you don't always know if she's going to place it necessarily or not, but you have to assume that it is. So if you're going to gank now, please do scan that zone. Well, if you don't have Herald. Obviously. But I think here it's fine. This is good. Kiana wasted her ult. She's seen on this ward here. Keep the sequencing going. So this kind of playstyle, this farming playstyle, can still work. It can still work. And now, obviously, because we're sequencing bottom to top to make sure that we can be there for our Gragas. Boom! Blow him up. Get the free kill, as I said, because the tower's still there, forcing it back into the middle of the lane. Now we can use it. There's no camps to counter jungle because we're sequencing boom, 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 efficiently. Ping this so we see it. Activate the Herald. Wait a second. Is the Rise in danger? Yeah, you see the pings? Everyone's like, dude, you just TP'd into a place where the Kiana and the Syndra can easily take you out. And because we know she was there, we take the Krugs. She obviously fell back to the Dragon, so that's okay. Which means we can push one more. We have a 3v1 top. Good. She does not seem to understand how to play against this farming style anymore. She's lost. Ah, my bad. I said 3v1 and then I was looking at the Kiana. Here we go. Let me bring that back. Okay, here we go. Everyone likes to see a GP die. Ulted into the turret, into the Lux ult. Very good. Red is spawning. Always assess whether or not you can greed for this to take it. In this case, it's not really greeding. You've got vision protection. The Kai'Sa, we've forsaken her. Look at this. She's only 400 gold away from being down 2,000 gold. The Xayah gets caught in her arrogance. Gets caught in her arrogance, not trying to take the turret, and the TP is burnt from the Gragas. And we can do that because we push these double towers. Now we can use numbers advantage everywhere else. So if you have a duo, this is the exact kind of play you want to make. See, look at this. If you have a top laner or mid laner you're playing with, make these plays. Okay, now we have a 4v3 in advantage for our team because GP's going to TP. GP's going to TP. Kai'Sa's in a precarious spot. I don't know why she's there at all. Okay, wait. Game changer. Never mind. Okay. I laughed a little too soon, but the Rakan kind of did his thing. Right, now we're fed. Gragas is fed. It's a 4v3. Sorry, 4v4 because Rise rotated down. Counter ult hits a 3-man. That's very good. Grace flashes up. We want to not kite them out as much as possible. We do have Noon Quiver and Fleet Footwork. Just be very, very cautious. Use your skills. Get in and out. Don't fall because you do have... he's 104, but he is a huge carry here. You want to use your gold lead. If you have the gold lead and you don't use it, it's not good. But it's fine. It's fine. You're a level ahead. Gragas is not doing good work. In terms of damage, all right, Gragas and Graves will do the most in this game. So even though he's got 4 assists, don't let that make you feel like, oh, he's not carrying, because people are too often tied to KDAs. Well, KDs. The assists do mean something. And if you do a lot of damage when you're getting those kills and assists, that's all that matters. Meaningful damage. Here we go, smoke screen death. Ult. There we go. And we get 2 back. 304. Excellent. Very nice. Good rotations from everyone. We're only up under 2k. So Zai's now 6-2 and 4-5. Oof. She's rotated mid. Right to Rise. 4-4. Also down 1200. Basically a needlessly large rod down. Crown of the Shattered Queen bought once more, obviously, because if you're being one-shot as a mage, you got to buy the item that doesn't let you get one-shot. Okay, and Demonic's Embrace was kind of nice on Zyra and things like this, but the removal of the resistances kind of, makes Crown kind of replace it in that sense. But I think I still need to do a bit more testing, but I'm really liking not buying it right now. But you can for sure. You can for sure. Especially if you get the other one. The other new one. All the names are escaping me. Shadow Flame, right? Shadow Fire? Shadow Flame? Shadow Fire? Ah. The one with the alternator plus needless. I love the build path. Very, very good. Second crab is up. We did lose a dragon. That's okay. We see 2 people here. We have in our pocket 1600. It's time we go spend that. Don't quite have the shield bow, unfortunately, but this will do wonders in the following fights. GP uses his advantage to push on out. Gragas uses his advantage to push GP out. Kiana's caught in no man's land for no particular reason whatsoever. Nice collapse, and now you guys can do the Herald. So this is very much a 2-man show, but the Lux is actually doing an exquisite job, I will say that. Even if her ADC and her mid laner are not quite there, she's roaming well, she's playing around the jungler in the top lane well, so if you are a support main, pay attention to how she's been roaming. That was an odd hitbox, but Xayah is a champion that can avoid it because of that ultimate. Stuns a Gragas, he gets ignited and killed, but Graves immediately rotates with the Herald, almost kills the Rakan. It's just a lie, he didn't almost kill the Rakan, but he did kill a Xayah. We don't have it for plates, but we can use it for giga pushes. Dead, super low, basically, and we saw people bottom lane, so we have the full opportunity to get a good push, but I don't think we should overcommit a second push. This is something we want. So the Hex Tech Drake for Graves is very nice. The attack speed plus the haste. Juicy. Clear this ward. Don't let them see it. Don't let them TP to it. TP from the Gragas. The Rakan is not reset from the earlier chunkings. Again, meaningful damage. Kiana! The Rakan's making me laugh, but the Kiana, man. It sucks to be an ADC, even if the jungle is really far behind, 2 levels behind doing nothing. If it's a Kiana, if it's a Zed, if it's a Talon, as long as they get, this item or one of their items completed, they can melt you. And because Kiana's dead, make sure we take this Hex Tech Drake. Good rotations, finish it off and get out. Nice. Don't flirt with this nonsense here. If you're not going to take a tower, if you kind of equal a numbers advantage or it's looking kind of doomed if you were to fight it, just take the objective, get on out, jungle's dead. 3 levels up now. 146 to 72. The farming style is alive and well. It's not the classical farming style, but the focus very much for the Graves was sequencing. For clear, second clear, rotate when necessary, counter jungle when necessary, dive when necessary, control objectives, sequence again. He kept his camps on repeat, and the Kiana's sad early game was a lot due to the fact that she took Raptors and Gromp, and the second Gromp gets counter jungled or invaded by the Graves. Even if she gets it in the situation, the fact that she has to leave because she gets chunked, that's bad. But if you do get this from the enemy jungler, the second Gromp, the only second tier camp they have on the map is the Raptors, huge victory. You have to use that advantage on the map, which the Graves did. Hello, TB commit, but doesn't really matter. Oh, hello again. This is a hand in the cookie jar. We'll flash that one. That's okay. That's okay. Ryze is rotating. She's really committing to this, but he has shield bow. He has shield bow. Good itemization. Unfortunately, I don't think we're having a collector sighting in this one, so I'm glad. Very happy. Much prefer the shield bow with BT, and if you're ahead, it always makes sense. Okay, now a bit of posturing. Again, 3,000 gold lead. Yeah, double kills, but 3,000 gold lead. It's not a free win, It might feel better, but if you look at the map state, you're like, okay, mid is pushing up nicely for a team that have pressure. Ryze and Kai'Sa aren't really doing much just yet. The Xayah does have crappy KDA, but she does have the gold lead. Again, don't focus too much on the KDAs. Look at the items. Look. This is nice. We sequence while there's posturing and no one's really pushing anything. Shadow your duo, shadow your fed person, even if he's not your duo. He can do stuff. Collapse on him, kill him. 705. All of a sudden, we've gone from 104 to 705. So, you will get your dues. Kai'Sa, why? Why? ADCs, doesn't matter their elo. If you don't play around them, they get tilted. Kiana's trying to go on the Groggy Ice because he is full AP, but he does have Everfrost. Obviously changed a little bit in the preseason. She does have Prowlers. She has nothing else really. This is silly knowing that the Graves could very easily collapse on this. And now another TB burned. TB is everywhere. Burning, helping. rotating. But is this a TP you want? Now, GP has reset. Remember that. I'm not, against his will, but he reset and spent his gold. Rotations from the Rise. Graves kept this. Beautifully done. Nice Q. Zoned them off and basically trapped them in a bad situation. Perfect. Perfect. Even if your blue team doesn't rotate there, your team just pushes mid for a tower pressure, that's fine, because you can easily win 2v2. Well played. Again, good shadows, good rotations, good farming, 905. Jungle flow, they're all dead, we go straight to the Baron. Remember though, if it's 50-50, if you're concerned about losing a fight, don't coin flip it back on out, alright? Don't finish off the Baron if you think you're all gonna die. Which in this situation might be the case. So they don't want to coin flip it, but everyone's super, super low. You might want to be very cautious. I got a knot in my throat as I said that. Love winter allergies. So yeah, everyone was low. If you don't have smite, definitely don't coin flip it. But even so, I think it's much safer just to try and turn. We don't get it, but we forced them to waste ults, to waste time. And if they're doing that, they're not farming, they're not setting up Dragon, they're not setting up vision control, they don't really get anything from it. So, it works out. Back to base. BF sword. Completed. Dragon spawning. And the fact that it is a mountain soul is huge. Absolutely huge in this game. Because it's hybrid damage on both teams. So having magic and armor resistance for both teams is nuts. Now, if you are the red team, very good. If you are the red team, don't do that. Don't do that. But at the same time, if you can maybe sneak 2 or 3 away and get that soul, you can win the game. So don't feel demoralized when you're only down 3,000 gold. You can still make plays to win. Unfortunately, you guys are all junglers. So if you're in the counter situation, you don't want to tell you. Don't be in the situation in the first place. You can make mistakes. Things can go badly, but I don't think we are blaming the Kiana so much as congratulating the Graves, right? Like, if you get out jungled to this degree, watch the VOD and study it. Learn from it. Don't feel demoralized. And that's the risk you have when you go for these clears. But this is what Graves says. That was a decent flash, and it's unfortunate he doesn't get away, but he will end up giving the shutdown to the counter. But can his team clean up? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But again, careful. Careful. That's where throws happen. That's where bounties happen. I mean, they could look to Baron. They're pinging it away. I mean, you don't have really a vision on anyone else, but GP doesn't have TP because he used it and they're super low, so. I mean, this is the thing. If you stare at the map now, and you look, you're like, oh, Fog of War, maybe she's moving up to do it, the pings are coming through, but if you look at the HP, you see the GP, Kiana's dead. It's unlikely that they're actually on it, but I understand the maybe. But if they're low, that low, then Lux would just kill them, so it'd be kind of griefing if you were actually red team and you try to do it. I think in lower elos, you might be able to get away with it, if you're the Xayah or something like this. Kaiser's taking red because, I don't know, Korean server? I don't like giving red if you're Graves or your Kindred or whatnot. Alright. Vision control, looking good. Next up, don't overcommit. Don't die again like that. Make sure you're swooping side to side, shadow the sidelines. We got a 1-3-1. If you have a 1-3-1 and you have a duo or you see this dude make a play, let's go for it. Let's go for it immediately. Rise is also TPing, collapse, 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 collapse. So the Graves is definitely very slow on this. But he's zoning the back line. He's zoning the back line. Okay, they're all low. He hits an ult. It doesn't hit anything, actually. It misses the stun from the Syndra. So the Graves was very slow here. But that's a dead Kiana, I think. Oh, it's close. That was very close. So Graves actually mispositioned in the situation, but he's got lifesteal because he's got BT. And you can basically go in and out of fights. You got free footwork. You can actually hang around here. Really, no issue doing that. If they overcommit, focus the target on the back line. Now turn onto the rest of them. You have Q, you have orders, you have E coming off cooldown very frequently. Well played. So the initial phase from Graves, not well played. But he kites out. He kites back, he autos to get his lifesteal back. When someone yeets in again, everyone just turns and focuses them, burn them down. Now you turn to the rest of the team. Standard stuff, attack what's in front of you. Always attack what's in front of you. Like the Baron. Now that's not a coin flip Baron. Now we reset. Very nice. Now this is a full crit game, so Infinity Edge is the order of the day. Syndra TPs in. Wow, the TPs this game. No one TP'd to lane, everyone's just straight up TPing across the map. Macro savants, everyone. Except sometimes I mean that ironically. Because the TPs were weird. Didn't make a lot of sense. Kiana hits the wall. Gragas is a bit out of position, so again, don't be a KDA inter. In this case, just bide your time. If they waste spells and your teammates die, they die. Whoa! There we go. Not again. He missed it again. Here we go. Flank from the backside. They're all on choke point, so it's perfect. Lux's ult actually hits nothing. We hit the smoke screen. Rakan dashes out. The Graves is a little slow in these rotations for the team fights, actually. Definitely needs to be more proactive. Like we're seeing on the map TPs from the Gragas. We're seeing TPs from the Rise. We're seeing our team fighting. Let's get in there a little sooner. You know, that patience, like the jungle monsters, is not infinite. You know, you gotta be patient for the right window, but you're not exactly being patient for too long. In this situation, the Kai'Sa took the tower. He went to lifesteal up, take a blue because he needs a bit of mana. You can actually afford in this situation to be a bit more relaxed, but in the team fighting, definitely, I think, a bit more active. Now that it hits, Lux did a great job actually. You know, I saw from the damage and I was like, Graves and Gragas, but the Lux did a good job as well. Stopwatch, activation. Straight up finish, easy mode. I mean, 2 dragons to 1. This game was more about the Herald. It was more about farming. So if you're a farming jungler, hopefully what you learn from this is the sequencing and the denial of a ganking jungler, someone trying to be a bit more proactive. Playing around the lane and infusing the lane that's doing well, in this case the Gragas, who expended his TP early to help you out. Make sure you're playing the good champion like Graves, adhere to the game flow as necessary, and with the team fights, just kill them all. Thank you very much for watching, hope you're able to enjoy and learn something. Please do leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you did. Yeah, that was weird. That wasn't usually what I say, but we'll go with it. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next video.